The Halloween 45 convention is less than 3 months away. They've announced some major and some not so major guests that I'm going to go over in this video. I'm also going to be talking about some of the Halloween specific content that I'll be creating over the next 3 months leading up to the Halloween 45 convention. Alright, so we are less than 3 months away from the Halloween 45 convention. This is going to be in the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California from September 29th through October 2nd. I'm super excited to go to this convention. This will be my first Halloween specific convention. I've been to other ones here in Orlando, Spookula and Spooky Empire, and a lot of the main horror cons. But this will be my first Halloween specific convention. Really excited for that time to come to fly out there and see all of the actors that were in Halloween and get all the cool merch that's going to be out there. I'm really excited. So to lead up to Halloween 45 convention, I'm going to be doing a lot of YouTube videos specifically around Halloween. So you definitely want to subscribe. I'm going to be doing a best and worst of each movie every week. So this week I'll be doing Halloween from 1978. I'll do a best of video and a worst of, and then every week from then on doing every single movie in order. So with that said, I want to go ahead and just jump into the guest list of what was announced so far for Halloween 45. They started announcing these guests a few months back. I haven't had a chance to cover some of this yet because I was out in California, didn't have any equipment with me. But I'm back now and I'm going to go ahead and just start covering any information around Halloween 45 leading up to the event as well as the best and worst of videos. So jumping right in, the first person they announced, of course, the person who appears at every single Halloween convention is the OG shape, Nick Castle. Nick Castle played Michael Myers in the 1978 version of Halloween, of course, and then he also made cameos in Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018, and then he did make a cameo in Halloween Ends. However, that scene was cut. I don't even think it made it into the bonus features. I'm really excited to meet Nick Castle. That's probably the very first one I'm jumping in line for. I could imagine it's going to be one of the longest lines if they don't announce Jamie Lee Curtis. The next person is Annie Brackett herself, Nancy Loomis. She played Annie Brackett in Halloween 1, Halloween 2. She was also on Halloween 3 as the ex-wife of Dr. Dan Chalice. So really excited to meet her. She played a major role in the first Halloween, one of the most unforgettable roles in the movie. Following that up, they next announced PJ Souls. I'm really excited to meet PJ Souls. I loved her character in Halloween 1. I love that she made a voice cameo in Halloween 2018 as Allison's teacher. So that was pretty cool. I'm really excited to meet her. Next up was Charles Cyphers, and that was Sheriff Brackett in Halloween's 1, 2, and Halloween Kills when he made his big return that everyone was so excited about and even dropped his famous line. So he's one I'd really like to meet. But to be honest, if I don't get a chance, if the lines are crazy and I'm only getting to meet a handful of people, I may cut him out of the people that I meet. The next person that they announced was Nancy Stevens. Nancy Stevens played Nurse Marion Chamber in Halloween's 1, 2, and Halloween Kills, as well as H2O. Nancy Stevens is another one that I'd really like to meet, but again, I won't be upset if I don't get to meet her. It's only a few days, and the lineup is massive. So, there's certain people I'm just not going to obviously be able to meet. I'm going to have to pick and choose. So, Nancy Stevens is on my list of people to meet, but we'll see what happens. Next up is a few people that I'm not as excited about, but I have seen on some of the Facebook groups that there are people who are really excited to meet these people, and the first one being Will Sandin, who played young Michael in the clown costume when he kills his sister at the beginning of Halloween 1978. I know he's done a few of the conventions before. He's popped up in some of the bonus features on the 4K Blu-rays. He's not one that I really care to meet. Obviously his role was important to setting up the story to Halloween, but it's just not that big a deal for me to meet Will Sandin. After that was Sandy Johnson, who played Judith Myers. Again, another major role in the movie, or I wouldn't say a major role, but her part was important to the setup of the story at the beginning of Halloween 1978. But her part was very short. She's one that, it'd be cool to meet her, but I'm not adding her to my list of people that I must see when I get to Halloween 45. After that, they announced Erwin Yablans. He was the producer for Halloween. Obviously, Halloween could have never happened without Erwin Yablans. He was the financial backer to this entire project. He took the chance writing the check to make this movie happen, and that's great. But again, I'm more wanting to meet, the Nick Castles and PJ Souls. I don't care to meet the producers for the most part, except one person who we'll get to. The next announcement was also Mickey Yablans, which is the son of Erwin. Again, super minor role in 1978, wasn't a very important factor, but it was a memorable scene, and that was after the group of boys is picking on Tommy, and then Mickey's character runs into Michael at right outside the schoolyard. Not an important role. Don't really care to meet him. The next announcement was Gwen Van Dam. She was in the TV version of Halloween from 1978. A lot of people had no idea who she was when they announced her as a guest at Halloween 45. I follow a lot of the announcements in the Facebook groups, and a lot of people were just commenting like, who the hell is she? I have no idea who this is. And a lot of people have seen the TV version of Halloween, but she's just not a memorable character, not an important character to the film. All she does is walk Donald Pleasance or Dr. Loomis to where he's going to meet with the board of directors or whatever it is for the asylum. I just don't care to meet her. Next up was Tommy Lee Wallace. Earlier I mentioned that I don't want to meet anyone really outside of like some of the main characters, but Tommy Lee Wallace is one that I would like to meet. He was the director of photography on Halloween 1978, and then he was also the director on Halloween 3. So he's one I could see myself wanting to meet. Again, if there's no time, that's cool, but I would like to. All right, this next person is at the very top of my list, right next to Nick Castle, and that is Dick Warlock, who played Michael Myers in Halloween 2. Halloween 2 was my favorite sequel out of all of the sequels in the franchise. I love this version of Michael Myers. This one scared me more than the 1978 version of Michael Myers. The look of the mask to me, even though it was the exact same mask, it was just kind of worn out after sitting under Deborah Hill's bed, sitting around smoke or whatever that story was. The mask just looked better to me. It looked scarier to me. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I love the Halloween 2 mask. I also like the way that Dick Warlock played Michael Myers. I like the slow pace. That was scary as hell to me. I know Deborah Hill made mention of after the fact that she didn't like the walk. He didn't have to walk right. To me, that just made him scarier. His arms never moved. It was just weird. But I love that version of Michael Myers, and he's right up there with Nick Castle on people that I absolutely need to meet if I get that chance. Next up on the announcements list was Lance Guest and Leo Rossi, who were the paramedics in Halloween 2. From what I hear, they're really cool guys to meet at conventions. I definitely would like to meet them if I get a chance. That would be awesome. Then we had Adam Gunn. This is one that I definitely do not care about. Adam Gunn was young Michael during a dream sequence in Halloween 2. If you remember, Laurie Strode she's under the medication, she's asleep, and she dreams about herself seeing young Michael sitting in Smith's Grove Sanitarium. If you blink, you miss it. It's not that big a deal. I really don't care for this scene. I don't care for this character. It's just not important. He didn't play a major role, and I don't know. After that was Tom Morga from Halloween 4. This is another one, don't care to meet. Tom Morga was hired to play Michael Myers in Halloween 4. However, he only played him for a very quick moment before he was replaced by George P. Wilbur. Don't know if I care to meet him, but we'll see what happens. After that, another one who I thought was a waste of time, which is Eric Preston, who played young Michael in Halloween 4. This is another one. If you blink, you miss it. This is when Jamie Lloyd goes shopping for a Halloween costume at Vincent Drugstore. She picks up the clown costume and she looks in the mirror, and for a brief second she sees young Michael looking back at her. And if you blink, you miss it. I don't see the purpose of having this person at the convention, but I know there's people out there who are gonna want to meet him. I'm just not one of them. Next up was Don Shanks. He's right up there with Nick Castle and Dick Warlock. I know some people are probably going to think I'm crazy for that one. As much as I hated Halloween 5, and it's weird because I have a love-hate relationship with Halloween 5. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so bad, but there are a few things I like about it, and I have to watch it every single time I watch part 4. I can't go without watching part 5. And I love the way Don Shanks played Michael Myers, regardless of how you feel about the movie or how you feel about that terrible mask. The way he played the Shape, I thought was great. I thought they could have kept him on for parts 6 and 7. Honestly, they could have just kept going with him and it would have been cool. Not to take anything away from Chris Duran, who played Michael in Halloween 7, because he brought something completely different to the character, which I love. But I think they could have kept going with Don Shanks at least for one more movie, even if it were for part 6. And speaking of part 6, the next announcement was Michael Lerner, who played Michael in just a few of the scenes in Halloween 6. Again, this was played originally by George P. Wilbur, did most of the movie, who also played Michael in part 4. Again, love the way he played Michael Myers in part 6. He did a great job, but Michael Lerner only played him for just a few scenes, and I think those are reshoots if I remember right. Just for the sake of getting something from part 6, I may do it, but we'll see what happens. Next up is Chris Duran, who played Michael Myers in H2O. I actually really liked the way he played Michael Myers. I think he did a great job. He brought something very different to the character. Regardless how you feel about the fact that there were like 5 different masks in the movie, including that digital one that they put in there for some reason, or how you feel about the fact that the eyes were showing the entire time, which I hated. But the way he played Michael Myers was great. I think we saw a more aggressive Michael Myers than we had previously seen, right? Michael always walked really slow. His kills were really quick. It was the first time we seen that kind of portrayal of Michael Myers, and he brought his own thing that made it scary to the film, which I liked. Then we have Brad Loree, who played Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection. This is going to be a skip for me. I do not care. It's definitely at the bottom of my list as far as Halloween ranking goes. If you watch any of my previous rankings, Halloween Resurrection usually competes for last place with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And in some videos, it's last place. Some videos it's second to last place. So it's always competing. I don't care for the way he portrayed Michael Myers in this film. It didn't feel any different than any other actor. So I don't really care to meet Brad Loree. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this guy's name right, but Daeg Furch, I think is how you say his name. Whatever. I think he did great in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Just his acting overall, the way he portrayed young Michael was great. I always hated the fact that we saw so much backstory out of Rob Zombie's version of Halloween, and I think that takes away all the scare factor from what Michael Myers is. But that's a whole separate thing. That's obviously not the fault of the actor, but he's one, if I run into him, great, but I don't really care. Next up from Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 as well will be Tyler Mane. I actually met him previously at Spooky Empire. That was pretty cool, and I actually didn't line up to meet him or anything like that. I was at a merch booth, and he just happened to be standing right next to me, literally towering over me. So just turned around and talked to him for a few minutes, and that was cool. So kind of got that one out the way already. So then we have also from Rob Zombie's Halloween, Casey Hendershot. He was the stuntman. Don't really care to meet a stuntman unless they played Michael through most of the movie. Then from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Chase Wright Vanek. Don't care. Not even going to say anything. Then we get back into the good ones. From the David Gordon Green trilogy, we get James Jude Courtney, who played Michael Myers in Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. He's probably my absolute favorite Michael Myers now, next to Nick Castle and Dick Warlock. I think he's right up there with those two guys. He's a much more ruthless Michael Myers, but he also had all the mannerisms down when you watched 2018, especially just the way he was, acting. It felt like you were watching Nick Castle. So much so that when Nick Castle made the cameos, you didn't notice the difference, and that was great. So James Jude Courtney is definitely at the top of my list of people to meet. Moving on, also from Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018, Halloween Ends, is going to be Christopher Nelson. Christopher Nelson designed all of the masks. He's a makeup artist and special effects artist. He also has his podcast with Sean Clark called The Thing with Two Heads, which I watch all the time. Seems like a really cool person to meet, so really excited for that as well. Then from Halloween 2018, stuntman Cody Robinson. I don't care. Then from Halloween Kills is one that I'm really excited about, and I know there's some people who hated Anthony Michael Hall. Some people who loved his portrayal of Tommy Doyle. I'm one of the people who really likes the way he played Tommy Doyle. It was something I wasn't expecting. Like when you look at who Tommy Doyle was in 1978 and who he ended up becoming, I think he painted a really good picture of how Tommy Doyle became the person he was in Halloween Kills. And then also, let's not forget, The Breakfast Club and all the amazing other movies he did. So, really excited to meet him. Then also from Halloween Kills, Aaron Armstrong, he played Michael Myers in the flashback scenes. Now, the flashback scenes are my favorite part of Halloween Kills. I would actually love to see someone blend those in to 1978 and kind of make a new movie out of that, which would be crazy. But I really like the way he played Michael Myers in the flashback scenes. I think he absolutely nailed it. And that kind of, to me, puts him up there with the other great actors who played Michael. So he's definitely on my list. Then also from Halloween Kills, stuntman Doug Tate. This is another one I don't care. Then finally is Rohan Campbell. Rohan Campbell obviously played Corey in Halloween Ends. This is going to be his very first convention appearance, obviously, because this is his first Halloween movie. Probably his last, but that's debatable. I don't know how I feel. Halloween Ends is one of those movies that the thing I hated about it is the thing that everyone hated, and that's that Michael Myers is not really in this movie. This movie is really Corey Cunningham's movie. It's, the entire thing is his story and what happened to him in his past and how he became who he is. And the only thing that feels Halloween about it is Michael passing on his power or his energy or whatever it was to Corey, and then Corey kind of becoming this killer. And that's great and all, but that's the thing I hated about the movie. The thing I liked about the movie is that, to me, regardless of what some people say, it still felt like a Halloween movie. There are things that didn't feel Halloween about it, of course, but it's hard to watch the David Gordon Green trilogy and not watch Halloween Ends at this point, just to close out the story. I actually like the ending scene. I like the way Michael died. But anyway, that's getting away from the point of Rohan Campbell. It just depends. It depends how I feel when I get there, how I feel in that moment, if I really want to meet Rohan Campbell or if I want to see any panels, with Rohan, unless he's up there with like Nick Castle and some other people, then I'll be there, of course. Now, there's still more guests to be announced. Right here on the website, it's showing 3 spots that say TBA, but it seems to always show 3 and then they end up announcing 4 or 5 more at a time. So I'm really excited to see who else they get. Hopefully it's not, a bunch more stuntmen and people like Aaron Preston and Adam Gunn who just, had a quick blink of the eye, young Michael scene. I really want to see, obviously, the one that everyone wants, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis. This is Halloween 45. This is a major convention, and I know she said she's done with the franchise, but this I think would be great if she were to show up and do this convention. And if not, I won't be mad at it. She doesn't owe us anything. She's given us, her entire life from 1978. As fans, we have to appreciate that. So I won't be mad if she can't go, but I think it would definitely be amazing. She would obviously shoot to the very top of the list, even above all the actors who play Michael Myers. I'd have to meet Jamie Lee Curtis. And then there's going to be a lot of major vendors out there. So we're going to have Fright Rags, Trick or Treat Studios, the Oblong Box Shop, Horror Hound, of course, is going to be there, and a lot of independent vendors as well. So I'm really excited for all the cool shit that we're gonna buy at the convention. I'm excited for all the people we're gonna meet. I'm excited for all the panels. Now, if you're looking to go, they haven't announced any hotel information. I don't know if there's any deals with like the local hotels the way most of these big conventions do. They also have not announced the event schedule, so we don't know what panels are gonna be there, who's gonna be talking at panels. We don't know what times certain autograph sessions are gonna happen. We don't even know what time the convention opens and closes each day. So there's a lot of information they still haven't given us, and as that information comes out, of course, I'm going to talk about it here on the channel. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know, of all these people that I skimmed through here, who is it that you're excited to meet if you're going to Halloween 45? Even if you're not going, who would you want to meet? What would you want to see? Who would you want to see at panels? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. And then also, please subscribe. Remember, I'm going to be talking about the best and worst of each Halloween film starting this week in the next few days.